is 12 o'clock. Here is the midday news. First, the top stories. INEC registers 126,267 new voters in Ogun State ahead of 2019 polls. Queue resurfaces at fuel stations in Lagos and Ogun border communities. Presidency says Buhari's health will determine his 2019 agenda. Anxiety in Taraba over reward landing of arms-loaded helicopter. In foreign, U.S. government service closed as Senate battles to end shutdown, and French prison guards in nationwide strike. Good afternoon. I am Chienye Egwuonwu bringing you the news in details shortly. 128,267 new voters have been registered by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in Ogun State in the ongoing continuous voter registration ahead of the 2019 polls. The new voters registered between April 2017 and January 2018 include 124,803 between April 2017 and December 31, 2017, and 3,464 between January 1, 2018 and January 12. For the newly registered voters, INEC now has a total of 1,957,801 voters in the state on its voter register for future polls. About 1,829,534 voters were registered for the last polls conducted in the state in 2015. According to the figure obtained by Rock City FM from the Ogun State Office of INEC, the Ado-Duwata local government area tops the list of newly registered voters with 19,659 new voters, closely followed by Ifo local government area with 18,769 new voters. Others are the Abeokuta South local government area, which registered new 13,685 voters, the Shagam local government area 10,256 new voters, and Yewa South local government area with 8,748 new voters, making up the top 5. Ijebode local government area is next with 6,909 new voters. Abeokuta North, 6,284 new voters. Ijebu North, 5,580 new voters, closely followed by Ewekoro with 5,160 new voters, and the Obafemi Owode local government area with 5,093 new voters. Others are Yewa North local government area with 4,522 new voters, Ikokia with 4,502 new voters, Ikene 4,488 new voters, Odeda 2,745 new voters, Imekoafo with 2,731 new voters, Deogolu 2,511 new voters, Ogun Waterside 1,944 new voters, Remanov 1,781 new voters, Ijebu East 1,470 new voters, while Ijebu Northeast records the least number of 1,430 new voters for the period under review. Nigerian Union of Journalists (NUJ) has accused the Amoso administration of deliberately sidelining journalists in the state in its various activities. The union, among other allegations, accuses the Amoso administration of finalizing arrangements to demolish its secretariat at Okelewo in Abeokuta for the proposed Abeokuta City Centre project. At the same time, the union says the state government refuses to construct a new one to replace the secretariat, which is already marked for demolition. The union's grievances, which is part of the resolutions passed at its emergency congress in Abeokuta, sent to Governor Ibukilo Amoso, also accused him of not finding any of the journalists in Ogun State worthy of being appointed into any post in his administration. Other complaints of the union is that Amoso stopped the quarterly media briefing of journalists operating in the state and has been inviting journalists from outside of the state to handle assignments that local journalists are employed to undertake. NUJ also protests the exclusion of journalists in the state in the various ad hoc committees set up by the government to tackle specific crises such as the task force on petrol scarcity. The state government, according to NUJ, is also sponsoring seminar on media terror in the state for the State House correspondents of the Presidential Villa, Abuja, while rejecting similar proposals from the State NUJ Council. Petrol scarcity has resurfaced in Lagos metropolis and Ogun State's border communities. Queue of vehicles noticed at fuel stations early on Sunday became longer later in the day at the few fuel stations selling petrol. Most of the fuel stations are either not selling petrol or shut their gates against motorists. Executive Secretary of Depot and Petrol Product Marketers Association of Nigeria, Olufemi Adewale, blames the shortage on the decision of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) to shift product supply to the major marketers. Meanwhile, NNPC says it has released 250 truckload of petrol to the city on Sunday instead of a normal daily supply of 200 trucks to wipe out the shortage. NNPC spokesman Udu Uhamadu blames the shortage, which according to him is temporary, on the decision to channel most of the products to the Major Marketers Association of Nigeria. Other major factors of the sudden shortage, according to him, are the hitches in the discharging of petrol by the ships last Saturday, which had been rectified, and power supply problems at the Port Harcourt refinery. Youths in Daura Emirates in Katsina State have decided to buy APC nomination form for President Muhammadu Buhari to seek re-election in 2019. The youths under the auspice of Daura Emirates Youth Progressive Movement announces the decision at a rally of youths from the 5 local government areas in Katsina State. The movement's chairman, Abdulkadir Lawal, says the youths also promised to buy APC governorship nomination form for Governor Aminu Mexari to also seek re-election in 2019. Buhari, according to him, is a God-sent leader to solve some of Nigeria's problems, including Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast region and official corruption. The presidency says the health condition of President Muhammadu Buhari will determine his participation in the 2019 presidential poll. It, however, explains that Buhari is healthier today than he was when he assumed office on May 29, 2015. Presidential spokesman Femi Adesina, speaking to the State House correspondents at the Presidential Villa Abuja, says if Buhari feels his health is not good enough, he will not join the presidential race. Adesina also dismisses reports that former Governor Rotimi Amechi has been appointed the Director General of the Buhari Osinbajo 2019 Presidential Campaign Organization. Police in Taraba State are investigating reports that a strange helicopter loaded with arms and ammunition landed in a village on Saturday night in the state. There is anxiety over the report that the helicopter landed in Jibu village located along the bank of River Benue. Spokesman of the State Police Command, David Mizal, says the report is still a rumor that should be ignored. Mizal, however, explains that a surveillance team had been deployed by the command to investigate the rumor. The state has been a battleground between herdsmen and farmers, which had resulted in scores of deaths in the past months. An 83-year-old woman has been burned to death in a fire outbreak in her home in Jigawa State. The fire broke out in the home in Wajala village in the Dutse local government area. Spokesman of the State Police Command, Abdul Jinjiri, says the fire outbreak, which started at 4:50 a.m., was caused by a firewood she was burning to keep herself warm from cold. He says the remnants of the woman had been handed over to the relatives for burial. You are still listening to the Midday News on Rock City 101.9 FM. Up next, we bring you foreign, business, and sports news. Please do stay with us. Now in foreign, hundreds of thousands of federal workers are unable to report for work throughout today as the U.S. Senate struggles to end a government shutdown. Some will not be paid until the stalemate is resolved. A vote to end the shutdown was postponed until later today, meaning many federal government offices will not open. Under Senate rules, the bill needs 60 votes in a 100-member chamber. The bill was not a plan for funding for the whole of 2018, but would have kept things running until the middle of next month. A rare Sunday session of the Senate yielded no agreement between Democrats and Republicans, with immigration one of the main sticking points. Essential services will still run, but famous sites such as the Statue of Liberty have already been affected. A series of attacks against prison guards by inmates at institutions across France has led to a nationwide strike in the country. Unions have vowed a total blockade of prisons on Monday as the dispute with the government over safety improvements and wage rises enters its second week. France's Justice Minister Nicole Belloubet said she would meet union leaders to try to end the crisis. Last week, unions rejected government proposals to end the strikes. Guards at prisons across the country, including the high-security institutions Florent Marigis and Fresnes prison outside Paris, are on Monday taking part in protests supported by France's CGT Union, the Force Ouvrière Union, and the UFOMSA Justice Union. The strike comes after a number of guards were injured in scuffles at several prisons. Last week, 3 officers were assaulted in an attack at Fresnes prison, which is situated south of Paris. On Sunday, 2 prison guards required hospital treatment after they were attacked at a detention center at Longnis prison, near, according to prison officials. Next is the business news. The African Development Bank (AFDB) plans to raise its investment in Nigeria to $8 billion from the present $6 billion. President of the bank, Akinwumi Adesina, announces this at the opening of the Nigeria country office in Abuja. The bank, according to Adesina, approved and disbursed the budget support of $600 million to Nigeria as it faced its worst recession in decades. Adesina explains that the bank will accelerate support for infrastructure and the energy sector. He says the investments are structured around our high 5 priorities, such as the Light Up and Power Africa, Feed Africa, Industrialize Africa, Integrate Africa, and improve the quality of life for the people of Africa. Finally, in the news, sports news. Super Eagles B team have arrived in Agadir, Morocco for the final group game against Equatorial Guinea on Tuesday. The team contingent traveled by road to Casablanca and later connected flight to Agadir. Nigeria are top of the Group C with 4 points, and while they battle Equatorial Guinea on Tuesday night at the low Grand State Agadir for a place in the quarter-final. Nigeria will finish as group leaders if they beat Equatorial Guinea and will return to Tangier for the quarter-final game. The match will kick off 7 p.m. local time, while Libya and Rwanda will play in Tangier for the second spot in Group C. That was the midday news, and just before we go, the major stories once again. INEC registered 126,267 new voters in Ogun State ahead of 2019 polls. Queue resurfaced at fuel stations in Lagos and Ogun border communities. President Yi said Buhari's health will determine his 2019 agenda. Anxiety in Taraba over remote landing of arms-loaded helicopter. In foreign, we also reported that U.S. government service closed as Senate battles to end shutdown, and French prison guards in nationwide strike. For more stories and to listen to us live, please log on to our website www.rockcityfmradio.com/live. Thank you very much for listening. I am Chienye. Good afternoon.